A significant portion of today's internet is encrypted using secret encryption keys, and for good reason. Apart from bolstering security, encrypting communication channels maintain both the confidentiality and the integrity of the data being transmitted. The exchange of these secret keys had always been an arduous task, irrespective of the scope of operation. Since the globally standardized symmetric encryption had seen a lot of application in the IT industry, exchanging the encryption and decryption key needed a safe approach. To highlight the issue at hand, let's take a look at Henry and Stella. Both our users want to communicate with each other in a safe and secure manner while using encrypted messages. To move forward with the system though, they need to have a secret key that can both encrypt and decrypt the message being transmitted. The most glaring issue here is the inability to exchange the specific key before they start communicating. Since they don't have a secure channel, anyone looking at the communication channel can easily intercept this key. If the key is intercepted, all the messages that are exchanged between Henry and Stella can easily be read by the malicious actors since they already have the decryption key. This is where the Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm comes into play. It made the process much more streamlined and more secure. Hey everyone, this is Vaibhav from Simplilearn and welcome to this video on the Diffie-Hellman key exchange. Let's take a look at the topics we are going to cover today. We start by learning about the origin and the features of the Diffie-Hellman key exchange. Next, we understand how one-way functions are helpful in exchanging the encryption keys. Moving on, we take a look at a step-by-step approach in the entire key exchange process while using real-world variables to give a more practical approach in an algorithm. Finally, we take a look at the places where the Diffie-Hellman key exchange process is most influential. Let's start by learning a bit more about this exchange process. Diffie-Hellman algorithm is a method for securely exchanging cryptographic keys over insecure channels without compromising the security and integrity of the data transmission. It was developed and published in 1976 by Martin Hellman and Whitfield Diffie. The main USP of this algorithm was the ability to exchange such critical keys over insecure networks. Once the keys are exchanged without any malicious actors, they can be used to transfer encrypted data and thereby establish a secure channel for communication. Until we received the asymmetric encryption algorithms that never relied on any category of key exchange, symmetric encryption was the only way to communicate securely. A secure method to exchange the private keys for this brand of cryptography was much needed. A very important part of how the Diffie-Hellman exchange works are the mechanism behind one-way functions, where the output should not be able to be deduced back to the original input. To better understand how the one-way functions work, let's take a look at this exchange process using color theory. Initially, both the users must have a private color decided on their own, and it should not be made public, even to the user with whom we will be exchanging keys. Let's say the first user has a private color as red, and the second user has the private color as blue. Next, they should be having a common public color, which can be decided over insecure channels if need be. In this case, we are choosing this common color to be yellow. In the next step, both users have to mix their private colors and the publicly decided common color. After mixing, we are going to get a new color mixture with each of the users. Once we receive a new mixture for each user, this mixture is then sent to each other. Now this is done over an insecure channel, which means this communication can easily be intercepted by any malicious actors who are listening on to the channel. At this point of time, even if the mixtures are exchanged, the hackers have only that, the mixtures. They do not possess the private colors of both users. After the mixtures are received, they are supposed to mix their own private color with the received mixture of the opposite user. Once the colors are mixed, they will both get a single color, which will be selected as the final secret color, or it can be a final secret key. Now, even though this entire communication took place over an insecure channel, because of the inability of the hacker to receive the private colors of both users, he has no idea that the secret color in the case of transmission is actually brown and not green or yellow, which he intercepted during the transmission. This is how the one-way functions work, and the keys can be exchanged over insecure channels without compromising on the privacy. Now that we understand the theory and the root logic behind this exchange, let us learn more about the mathematical side of the Diffie-Hellman key exchange in our next section. We can break down the entire key exchange process into 3 distinct steps. Step 1 is choosing Q and alpha. First, we choose a prime number Q which will stay consistent throughout the process. Once we have selected Q, we need to select a primitive root of Q and denote it by the symbol alpha. This alpha will be a primitive root modulo of Q if every number co-prime to Q is congruent to the power of alpha mod Q. Now, to satisfy the primitive root requirement of a prime number, the values of alpha mod Q, alpha square mod Q, all the way up to alpha Q minus 1 mod Q must all follow this formula where it should always be less than Q, which has the range of ranging from 1 up to Q minus 1. If this condition is satisfied, alpha can be selected as a primitive root for Q. Moving on to step 2, we have a deriving the key pair process. Let's say for the first user we assume the private key to be denoted by XA, where the XA's value should always be less than Q. After we decide on the private key, the public key, which will be denoted by YA, can be calculated using the formula alpha to the power XA mod Q. Now that we have both the private key and the public key settled, the key pair of the first user becomes XA and YA. Similarly, for the second user, let's say the private key is supposed to be XB, which must also be less than Q. The public key of the second user can also be calculated using the formula alpha to the power XB mod Q. Similar to the first user, the key pair will have both the private key and public key, which becomes XB and YB. Finally, in step 3, we have the key generation steps. We already have the parameters for the first user, which will be his private key, the receiver's public key, and the value of Q, which will stay constant. To calculate the secret key or the secret color as denoted by Brown in the color theory, the formula we're going to use is YB to the power XA mod Q. For the second user, we're going to use a similar formula but with slightly different parameters. It will be the private key of the user, public key of the other user, and the value of Q. The formula will be similar in the phase of YA to the power XB mod Q. To satisfy the entire Diffie-Hellman key exchange process, both these generated K value must be equal. To successfully generate the key, these values should be equal. The key generated will be used to encrypt the messages while being transmitted over insecure channels, as denoted by the brown color. To get a more clear idea of how it is going to work, we can take a real-world example with mathematical values to prove this theory. In step 1, we have to choose Q and alpha. So let's say if we choose a prime number Q to be 17. In choosing alpha, which will be the primitive root of Q, we have decided we're going to take alpha as 3. Now, to satisfy the condition of the primitive root, we can check that 3 mod 17, which is 3, 3 square mod 17, 9, and all the way up to 3 power 16 mod 17, they all fall below 17. So it satisfies the condition to be a primitive root of the prime number 17. In step 2, we need to settle on the private and the public key. For the first user, the private key, which will be considered as XA, let's say we decide it to be 15. Now that we have the value of the private key settled at 15, we can calculate the public key with the formula 3 power 15 mod 17, which is supposedly alpha to the power XA mod Q. The value becomes 6. So our key pair becomes 15 and 6, which is the private key and the public key of the first user. For the second user, let's consider the private key XB to be 13. The public key can then be calculated the formula 3 to the power 13 mod 17, which has the value of 12. So in the second user's case, the key pair can be 13 and 12. In step 3, which is the key generation, we already have the requisite parameters for both users. To calculate the secret key on the first user, we're going to use the formula of K equal to 12 power 15 mod 17, which gives the output as 10. Similarly, for second user, we're going to calculate the secret key using the formula 6 to the power 13 mod 17, which gives the value as 10. Now that we have both values of k at 10, this becomes our secret encryption and decryption key. Both users can encrypt their messages with this value of k before transmitting the data, and the receiver can generate the key on their side too, as seen in this video. So unless anyone has the secret key as a supplement to the publicly decided key, no amount of hacking can break this secure channel. Thankfully, this key exchange process was very well received and is being used nowadays in a lot of places. Let's read about some of these occasions. The public key infrastructure, or PKI, is a set of tools and rules to enforce public key cryptography with multiple entities. It governs the issuance of digital certificates around the internet to maintain data confidentiality. Our internet browsers are authenticated with website servers using an SSL or TLS certificate and many encryption keys in between. This is only possible due to this Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm, which enables the secure exchange of cryptographic entities over all channels. We also have Secure Shell Access, or SSH for short. It is a cryptographic protocol used to access system terminals from a third-party appliance or application. The Diffie-Hellman algorithm helps in exchanging the keys between both systems so that remote access can be enabled. Hope you all enjoyed and learned something interesting today. If you have any questions regarding this topic, feel free to ask your queries and we will be happy to answer them for you. Subscribe to our channel for more content like this, and thank you for watching.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.